Hello everyone and welcome to Legit Crypto Lounge. For those who are new here, we're about connecting real investors with real projects. Today is going to be a bit of a different spin on what we normally do because this is a revisit from David Hunter and Blockstar. So what we'll do is we'll start with a little bit of a recap on Blockstar, so anyone new listening can find out a basic overview of what Blockstar is. You can check out the previous AMA to find out all the nitty-gritty details from the first AMA, and then we'll go into this AMA and find out what's new, what David's been up to. So yeah, I'll let David introduce himself, tell us who he is, and a little bit of about what he does.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Toby. I know a lot of you guys know who I am and everything, but just to kind of give everybody a recap of who I am. I've been in the space probably going on 12 years now. My name is David Hunter. I've been an advocate, creator, developer, and advisor in crypto for a long time. And what we're trying to do with Blockstar, my background and everything, has been from a technical standpoint and a business standpoint. So all the way back from being in grade school all the way up through going to the U.S. Navy. I'm a Navy veteran, Chief Petty Officer in the advanced electronic computer field. And after that, I went and finished up my business degree and everything. I do have a company outside of crypto as well. So it's one of the larger consulting firms from business to business in the restaurant industry and in the tech industry as well. And I've been an advisor on those. I don't do any of the consulting anymore. I set my business up that way so I can continue to do things that I love within crypto. And I have been building out Blockstar for the last 3 years, and we are just now bringing it into market. We are just now in the finishing up the private sale phase. We're going right into pre-sale. We're not really looking to change the what you know to be social media today. We're just changing the way that you do it currently, and we're trying to bring it all into one platform and introduce a crypto side of it, so that you're able to do everything that you love with inside of one platform, whether that be social, hanging out with friends and family, being able to hang out in groups and spaces. If you're a fan of VR, AR, stay tuned for future updates. And then also being able to, if you are a project owner or a creator and you're looking to put all of your information into one place so people aren't having to go to YouTube, Twitter, and all your different sweepstakes and all that stuff, you can have everything combined and have it really uniform with your branding right inside of a group right on Blockstar, and be able to use our user base and everything as a resource for you guys if you're trying to get the word out instead of having to, as we all know, it's very, very expensive to advertise within the crypto space, and we're trying to eliminate some of those high cost figures to be able to get to the same user base. So that's one of the main things that we're trying to do. I'll stop there. If you guys have specific questions, I'd love to give you guys a chance to ask those. I'll answer them, and then I'll go right into kind of some of the overview from our last AMA of some of those changes.
Yeah, so just before we do that, David, how would you describe Blockstar for all the new people in, just a short, sweet sentence? What's the backbone of it?
So the backbone is that we're not trying to reinvent the wheel and everything of, like I said, social media and everything. Blockstar should be the go-to place for everybody that is looking to not have their information or themselves become a product, right? Users of social media used to be the word I'm looking for, used to be the user of the platform. Now they become the product, and the advertisers that are going through Facebook, Twitter, and all these other companies, they are the customers. And the way that Facebook and all these other companies are making their money is by selling you, the product, to those users, which are the advertisers. And we're trying to eliminate that, and we're trying to bring everything. We are the very, very first social media platform that is built on blockchain technology. So to wrap it all up into one sentence, we are the first decentralized social media platform built on blockchain technology, but we are introducing many more things than just the social aspect. That is just the number one goal that we had in mind, to create our user base, and then we'll start transitioning into all of our new updates that I'll discuss with you guys here shortly. Does that answer your question, Mark?
Yeah, it answers my question. It's Toby. Yeah, it answers my question, buddy. Yeah, so you want to go straight into your updates and what you've been busy doing?
Perfect. Let me bounce over to another screen here. I didn't have the screen up where I was talking, so I didn't see who was talking. And
No, there you go.
Who I'm talking to here. All right. So as you guys can see from our last AMA and everything, there have been some major changes to the design, thanks to Toby, Mark, and about 100 other guys that told me that it wasn't looking too shabby from the design aspect. So I took all those considerations into account, and within about a week, we had a complete new design of the entire platform, and we've got nothing but great feedback. It looks more modern. It looks more techy, and it kind of brings it into the new era of what social media should look like. We are still making changes, but this is going to be our base layer that we have rolled out. You can now, one of the major updates is everybody was looking for a desktop, mobile, and tablet app. Now you are able to download the Blockstar on all three of those platforms. No matter if you have an Apple, Android, you're able to do those things directly from Blockstar. We are going to roll those out into Google Play and to the iOS store for Apple. The reason we have chosen to do it first on our platform is because, being a decentralized platform, when you start letting others dictate what you can and can't do, and you have somebody else in there that can control that, which would be Google or Apple, saying for any reason they didn't want us on their platform, they would be able to take us down, and then it would be very hard for you guys to be able to get that app. So we want to create our own app store as well, where you're able to download us from us directly. We will never be limited to what somebody else thinks our product should be or what it should look like. We will continue to do that, but we will be uploading to those platforms as well. That would be the number one update, would be the design and the look and feel, along with being able to install it on any device that you're going to be using from now and into the future. We did go with a light version, the ones that will be on Google Play and the Apple iOS store. Will be a full version that won't be light. It will be a little more heavier on the code side of it. We wanted to make it as quick and user-friendly as possible with load times. We are introducing some more nodes. I will go over that shortly, because I do want to get into some more technical information on that, on the security of the platform. Let me refresh this here. Get new content all the time. As you guys know, if you were on the site yesterday looking at it from today's standpoint, you may have noticed that we onboarded, it looks like, a little over 600 and something people within a matter of hours today. So we did start some major marketing today, and that has been a big push for us. That was one of the things from our last AMA that I told you was probably lacking within our project and everything, just because that hadn't been the focus up to that point. And we are really ramping that up to get through our the pre-sale to get ready for launch. So we have a great and amazing launch going forward.
Let me just pause for a minute, mate. Can you divulge any information on what that marketing has involved?
Yeah, so we're doing Twitter ads. We're also working with some other influencers. I want to keep a couple of them, not necessarily a secret. I just want to hold them back and let them announce at the same time that we are. I did make that deal with them, but I'm happy to share that information in private. But you guys will see me posting. As soon as they post, they're going to be sharing it over. But we are doing a bunch of the Twitter ads and everything directly for Blockstar. We are going to run some Facebook ads coming up in the next day or two. And some of those influencers that we are working with are not pump and dump influencers. These are smaller creators that are looking to make headway in the crypto space, and that's specifically what they do. They're not call channels. They do break down and go directly into detail what our project is all about. And those are the kind of marketing tactics that we want to use, is legit places that are actually doing legit things, that want to be a part of our ecosystem as well, and onboarding not only themselves, but bringing their following and their user base with them. We are doing a few giveaways within Twitter with a couple of those creators, but for the most part, they would be AMA styles, where they kind of go through and break everything down as well.
Nice. Okay, mate. Yeah, carry on, buddy.
Yep. So just to follow up on that real quick and everything, I'll keep it brief. We never wanted to create a pump and dump situation. If I wanted to do that, I would have brought this to market 3 years ago, right? So we want steady, healthy growth and everything. We want good investors, a good user base, because the future of this platform depends on those things. Just to go into, as you guys can see, we did clean up some of this module bar as well. We did take away a few things. And when I say take them away, we didn't remove them from the platform. We did incorporate them into a better structure. And I'll show you some of those things. If you notice on here, you do not see the events tab. You don't see any of the information to glossary terms and all that stuff. We pulled them directly into all the other spaces, groups and all that stuff. So you are able to attach those directly to those groups and spaces as well. I'm going to bounce in here just to show you guys, because I think it's really important to see the amount of users that we onboarded today on the new ones here. There are pages and pages and pages and pages of all these new users on here. So we know that our marketing techniques are working. Let's see. We do have some more organizations. As you guys can see, there's been some more groups. I have a few of them featured here. Lucky for these guys, I know them. They're pretty cool. So we got those guys featured as well. And but as you can see, these things are filling up pretty fast here. But I do want to bounce into the Blockstar, because I got some pretty cool stuff to show you in here, and that goes along with some of the updates too. I'll show you guys some pictures. This might be a sneak peek if you're reading this. I'll get into this shortly here. Let's see. As you guys can see, this has changed a little bit too. The chat is all working good. We can now officially do complete share screens. You can do streaming and all that. So for anybody that is looking to start another project and everything, and you're looking to do AMAs with inside of a group on Blockstar, hint, you are able to do that with screen sharing and be able to record and post it directly on the Blockstar, and then share from Blockstar out to all the other places as well if you want to continue to use those platforms. Let's see here. Let me scroll up here, guys. I know it's in here because I had posted it. Let's see. We gotta go back a ways. Oh, geez. I didn't know you guys had been filling up the chat room in here. I guess I need to check it a little closer. There we go.
Need to spend some more time on Blockstar, David.
I guess, buddy. It's been a busy day. As you guys can see, this is official now. We did get the approval from Bancorp. The reason, and if anybody tells you they can go directly through Visa to get this accomplished, I can tell you that is not the case. I have tried to work with Visa in the past and everything. They just do not do it. You have to go through another company that is licensed through Visa, which is the reason that Visa sells their licensing. And we decided to go through Bancorp. If you guys are familiar with Coinbase or several of the other big exchanges, those are the exact same company that they use as well. If you've ever heard of Chime, they also use Bancorp, and that is why we decided to go with them, because they're reputable and they're very easy to work with. I had somebody ask me yesterday, I won't mention his name, but asked me if we were going to be doing the metal cards like Crow does. We are not going to be doing the metal cards to start. I will tell you, it's very, very, very expensive. But we will maybe do those for future release. So after your first one expires, you will be able to get that metal card. I will look into that and see if we can't find a relatively less expensive way to create those. But we are looking at doing some different reward style cards, right? So you'll have the debit card, Visa, but we may offer a tier very similar to Crow. I'm looking at that right now. To start out with, we will have the basic debit card, and the way we had to do that was to introduce another trading pair, which would be the BST, the Blockstar token, along with a USDC pair, right? So we had to pair it with a stable coin. We could not just pair it with BNB because that doesn't necessarily work when you're trying to exchange in fiat, right? So when we do roll out the exchange, these will be ready to go. We will do our first batch of 100 for beta testing. I will put out that form when we are ready. That should be within the next 30 days. You guys can fill those out. We'll get that first batch of 100 done, get those sent out. And then after that, anybody after that point will have to wait. I am going to use that first batch of 100 for the people that did invest in private sale and pre-sale. Will get exclusive rights first. And after that, it will open up to everybody else from that point. Any questions on the cards?
Yeah, let's get into it. So in order to get the cards, you had to. We touched on this last time. What BST was. So BST was your stablecoin version of that you're going to use in the ecosystem, right?
BSA would be our stable token, but
So,
that is our Blockstar advertising token, and we didn't want to mix the two.
Sorry. Okay, so you're pairing the BST with USDC, right?
With USDC, that's correct. Yep.
Okay, so you want to. What's the benefit to me having a card? Like, what can I expect?
Yeah, so from having our card and everything, you will be able to have the BST token, and you will be able to have that and holding it. You could be staking it, earning rewards on that, and then also you can go right to a store anywhere they accept Visa, and you're able to spend that BST. The way that it works on the back end is what it does is it does do a sell order on the contract, converts it over to USDC as a trading pair, and you are able to complete that purchase. We do have the liquidity pool that is pulled because it is the USDC, which is one of the reasons why we had to go to that. So for you, it's an instant transaction. For us, it does take a little longer than that to process, just as if you were to pay with any other crypto. With the gas transaction, everything, it will take a little bit of time on our end, but it will be instant for you. So you won't see any of the lag time from doing that. But we will also have several other trading pairs, and that will be with our exchange. We will be pairing because we are going to be cross-bridge, so we'll be doing that with the ETH as well. And then all of those will have be paired with the BST token. So we're talking BTC to BST. We are talking ETH to BST. I am looking at Crow. None of that is confirmed. I am looking at maybe bringing in that bridge to the ecosystem because Crow is a growing platform. And I think it's going to be real important for the future for us to get out ahead of that and be able to bring them right into our platform. So we will be able to have assets from several different, no matter if it's BEP20, ERC20, or Crow as well.
So
that answer that?
Yeah. So when you launch this card, where's the liquidity coming from? In the USDC liquidity?
Yep. So what will happen is, so on our pre-sale, if you guys remember from our last anime, 100% of that goes to liquidity. Half of it goes directly into PancakeSwap. The other half is locked into the Blockstar exchange. Okay, and you'll be able to trade from day one without the exchange. You will be able to go and swap from BST to BNB, but now also because we had to add the USDC pair, you will be able to trade back and forth between that two from day one when we go live. But then we will be introducing the exchange, and that's when these cards come into play. But from day one, you will be able to exchange and go from BST to BNB and BNB back to BST, and then also with that stablecoin of USDC as well. And that will be on our DEX swap, but we will be adding several other assets, and any project that comes through, which is another point I want to get into, is about our Incupad and our Launchpad. Any of those projects that launch to us will automatically, because they will have been already vetted and we would have helped them all the way through the process, they will also be one of the assets listed directly onto our exchange. So for any projects out there that are looking and they're always having to wait and pay all these fees to go directly into a exchange, we're able to help them and accommodate them if they launch through us directly on our Incupad.
So we're going into another subject here that I don't know much about because this is a new update, I think. But
right.
Yeah, so is there a minimum you're going to need to create this liquidity for the cards to be able to work?
No, absolutely not, because I'm funding it out of my own personal pocket. So I'm putting it up with Bancorp where it's going to be FDIC insured and everything. I'm putting it up personally.
Okay.
And that's locked into that account. So I'm not going to require the investors to support that because it's a decision I made unilaterally to do this. So I had to put up the securing amount of money for that. As the platform grows and everything, the fees and all that stuff from Blockstar, because Blockstar as a company, I say me personally, Blockstar as a company is putting up that the initial liquidity for that bank account and everything to be able to supply all the other bank accounts and change throughout it and to be insured as well.
Awesome.
So sorry for saying personally. When I say personally, I feel so attached to Blockstar because it's been 3 years in the making. But Blockstar as a company, not me personally.
Understood. Mark, do you have any questions on the card?
It was just really when I compare it to Crow and stuff. Obviously, with a Crow card, I will put on fiat, so I'll transfer it over from my Crow into stable. Are you saying that with Blockstar you will put your native token on the card?
Yep, you can put either one. You can put BST or you can use the USDC pair. We had to pair it for all intents and purposes on the front end for them to be able to get this process approved. But we have a contract built that automatically does the swapping, and that is why I had to create that liquidity pool directly with that bank. I call it a liquidity pool because that's technically what it is, but I had to put up the funding for that. So anytime that somebody wants to trade, it's instant transaction for them. But it's on a ledger for us, which is a public ledger. And I said this yesterday for any of you guys with another AMA. Our ledger will be public. We will be the first exchange out there to make a public ledger, not a private ledger, which is very unique in this space.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say that's answered my question.
Yep. So for the cards and everything, we're able to do it through a smart contract and everything. As soon as the call order is called for that card and everything, even though it's in BST, it automatically does the conversion into USDC because it's paired on both. And I'll show you guys that when we get into the NFT platform. I did the exact same thing there as well. And the reason why is because we're going to allow you to not only pay in BST, BNB, and USDC on the front end as the user, but it also creates a sell and a buy order on the contract. And the reason we're doing this is because you guys can contest this, and we're not a reflection token where we're doing rewards and a stable coin, but volume is very, very key to stay in the eyes of new potential people buying into the project, right? So we want to be able to continue to have that same volume day in, day out. And I think this is a great way to do that, being able to do the buy and sell orders, because just as many people that are running out and buying something with their BST at a store, which would be very, very unique because they're able to only hold the BST token and it automatically transfers over to the USDC for the all intents and purposes of purchasing. But then they can also have their stable coins as well that they can load onto there. So it's being able to use the card. You will have to stake that BST or you will have to stake that USDC and put that into a separate account and then pull it back over to be able to use it within the exchange. So I hope that covers that. There's a lot more technical details into that, and I'm happy to share that with anybody. I can tell you that I could go several hours and go through the contract and show you guys exactly how all that works on the back end for those that are interested, but I won't bore you guys to death either. But any of those tech guys out there that do want to know how that is or they're looking to do something similar, I have no problems helping you guys or putting you on the right track to be able to accomplish that as well.
With the staking, are you going to are people going to earn interest off that?
Right. So the way we're doing it is we're doing it through rewards. So if you're spending those BST tokens, we are going to offer rewards and everything. So you may earn anywhere from 1% all the way up to 5% on all purchases.
Okay, nice.
So that's the way that we decide to do that. We are already giving back to all the holders within the point system, and there'll be other points that you can earn and trading things that you do within the exchange and on the DEX that will also earn you points that you can then exchange for the BST token. So for us to continue to have the amount of BST token that we need to do those things, we can't do a staking platform that offers thousands of percents of APY, but what we can do is guarantee that the floor of the token continues to go up because of the volume and always having eyes on it, and to have the lowest fees throughout the industry is what our goal is. And we will try to stay as close to that, but also be competitive as well to be able to continue to grow the platform.
Yeah, like you said, the volume through this platform, through the card payments, through all of your utilities is hopefully going to create some massive volume buys and sells. Just to confirm, there are no buy and sell taxes within your platform, are there?
Not within the platform. On the contract outside of the platform, there is a 2% directly on the contract, and that 2% goes directly into our point system. So it's a trade-off, right? So all the things you guys are doing socially, but I can tell you something we did that is very unique that a lot of projects do not do. And if they are doing it, they're just now starting to do it, where when we set that 2%, it can never be changed more than 2%, right? So you'll look at a lot of contracts, and if you ever go look on CoinGecko and stuff, now they're putting those tags that they can set it above a certain limit or up to 100%. This one can never be set more than 2%. It can be set to 0. That was another issue with a lot of contracts in previous days and everything, that people were never able to set it exactly to 0 without going to a V2. We have been able to incorporate that where we can go all the way down to 0 if we need to. But the whole point behind having it on a separate DEX outside of Blockstar, where we will have liquidity locked, is to be able to get that 2% of that token volume to be able to support the platform as well without having to charge those crazy fees and interest directly within the Blockstar ecosystem.
Cool.
So, because as a company, we still have to be able to maintain and to make money as well. So there will be small fees and everything in our exchange and through our DEX and everything, but they will by far be the lowest in the industry because we think some of the gas fees and prices out there are just ridiculous, and we do not want to subject our user base to being able to pay for those. We want we want it to be inclusive to everybody, not just for the handful of people that can afford to pay gas fees and stuff as well. I can't tell you on most platforms it's anywhere from 0.3 to 0.5 if you're going to use exchange, and they charge you on the total per cent of your transaction when you're trading. We will not do that. Ours will be somewhere closer to that 0.1 to 0.2.
So on that note, David, with the cards giving out rewards, have you changed your supply or anything since we last spoke, or have you taken out some of the supply from the social rewards?
No, so we don't need to up the supply of the token and everything. 100 million. It baffles me that how many years it wasn't that many years ago, right? Where if even 100 million tokens was unheard of, right? I can remember when 21 for Bitcoin, 50, 60, 80 million. When we got to 100, people say, "Why do you need 100 million tokens?" This wasn't even a thing, right? And now we got billions and trillions and quadrillions, and then you see people say, well, we're going to burn half the supply. But what people don't realize, it's a marketing ploy. It doesn't do any good for any project to sit there and burn half of the tokens right before they launch, because let me tell you what happens. The tokens get burnt, but there's no liquidity being added on the other side for the pair to make the price of the token go up. And that's where everybody gets confused, and they just see, oh, well, they're doing a burn, right? Well, to do a correct burn, you would burn tokens, but that BNB or whatever it was paired with would still be in the contract, which raises the price of the token. Does that make sense? So unless you see a buyback and burn of those tokens, right, it is not a true burn. And we're not going to do that. We're not going to use that marketing ploy because it's confusing for people and it's not legitimate. I'll leave it at that. It's not a legitimate process, and that's all it is a cheap marketing ploy. But as far as the supply, we go out 18 decimals, right? Look, Bitcoin has 21 million. We have almost 5 times as many tokens as they do, and we also go out, and they haven't had a problem, right? They've never sold completely out of Bitcoin, right? And they haven't even minted all of the Bitcoin out there. It hadn't even been mined. So 100 million tokens is more than enough to support this platform. Going out 18 decimals, I'll let some math genius figure that out. But we can continue to run for a very, 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 very long time with no issues. And if we ever did run into an issue, we would just introduce another coin at a much future date. But I don't see that in the ecosystem having to bring in another token.
Cool.
What is the best way? Let's see. So let me pop out of here. Any more questions on the cards, guys?
I'm not sure how to best to do this. I don't know whether we should take some questions from the community on the card before moving on to the next update.
Go ahead. Yeah, go for it.
So if anyone's got any questions about the Blockstar card, feel free to raise your hand or ask in chat, and we'll pick that up. If not, we'll move on to the next update that David's going to bring.
Perfect. And you guys don't feel uncomfortable getting on the mic and asking questions. This AMA is supposed to be super casual and everything. That's kind of hanging out, just kind of going through things. This is a follow-up AMA to an AMA that we had already done with Legit Crypto Lounge. So for all the real technical details and everything, or specific stuff, all of that stuff is covered. So feel free to jump up there just like we're having a general conversation, because that's what this AMA is supposed to be about. It's supposed to be fun, and like Toby and Mark have said at the beginning of this, that it was it's supposed to be kind of a different format and layout. So you guys feel free to jump up and ask.
I want a question, I think. Layer one, you can unmute yourself, buddy. Player, are you here, buddy? Okay, we go to Philly then. You can unmute yourself, buddy. Philly. Okay.
Billy, if you're there, you can unmute yourself.
I was looking away. Hi David. First of all, respect for the amount of work provided. My question is more on the security side.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like there is a lot of concern for first is data leak, and second is like I believe you are still using some Web2 services. So I guess I see that the website is built in PHP. So I guess you are running on Apache, right?
We are running on a Apache, MySQL, and everything. But that is one server. We also introduced the nodes for the security part of it and everything. We currently have 15 nodes running, and they are all decentralized. So whenever the BST token goes live, the two-factor authentication also goes live. And then also you have to pay a small gas fee to confirm your profile and everything. So you're able to get your profile now. It'll be a very, very small gas fee to confirm everything. And then everything turns right over to the blockchain.
Okay. And the front end data is not encrypted, right? Like the messages, the data in general.
They are encrypted. So from person to person, everything. That's why I say when it goes live and everything with the BST token and everything, your profile and everything, if you notice within inside of there, it has the QR code and everything. That is just like a wallet and everything. It actually turns your profile into an NFT, and those will be able to be minted as well. So anything that goes back and forth between that will actually record on our blockchain. Okay, not outside on a blockchain, but it will be a public ledger and everything, and that is encrypted.
Awesome. Really nice to hear.
Perfect. And it sounds like you're technical. It sounds like you're a technical guy and you understand that stuff. If you ever want to get together and just talk shop and everything, I'm always willing to do that. I'm always around as well.
Sure. Whenever, like right now, I'm pretty busy, so I'm just trying to gather as much information as I can. But as soon as I get into this, I will contact you for sure.
Perfect. Thanks.
Go, Michael.
Hey,
did you have a question?
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know, for some reason I couldn't chat on the other account. Hey, Topstar. Hey, David. How are you guys?
Hey, buddy. I'm doing good. How are you?
Good, man.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
I hope you got a tough question for me, because I asked you a tough question.
Yeah, every single time.
Yeah.
At the tough one or not tough, but I joined a bit late.
That's okay.
Could you tell me more about your team and who do you have in house? And also, I would like to know what's the reasoning for launching on BSC. Why you haven't chose other blockchain?
Yep. So let me answer about my team and everything first. A lot of those guys don't necessarily like being in the public spotlight. They do several things and they do them very well. Most of those guys are doing admin tasks for me. One guy, and I won't use the explicit term and everything, but he is kind of my go-to guy and everything that just does everything I need him to do. So if I need him to go get a hold of a group or whatever and say, hey, get a hold of this person, give these messages. He's kind of my secretary, right? He's my kind of my go-to guy. And there's an explicit word I would normally use for that, but he is really good at that. The other guys, they are the mods and admins within, you know, the different chats and everything, and they just really help support me as a backbone. I did hire 2 developers recently. One is an intern, and the other guy has about 5 to 7 years of experience in developing. I have had guys in the past that I did turn over some API and open source code to that did help build out some things, but everything was implemented by myself because I wanted to be able to put my stamp of approval on the entire site and say, I am responsible for this, I did this. And so every line of code, and there is over 1 million lines of code in this project, I have had literally done myself. So for those guys, their API, and in the future, you guys may have heard on some other AMAs, we are planning to open a big portion of our platform to open source so that other projects and other developers out there can also build off of our platform. And your other question, why we went from on BSC instead of going to another blockchain. So Crow really wasn't a big thing back then. Or back when I was first building out and everything, the original plan was actually to go on ETH, and then the gas fees just went crazy. And again, we're trying to make this not a limited group of people that is able to get in for this project, because we're really looking to build a user base, right? So the way to build a user base, you have to go where the people are. Well, at the time, whenever I decided to go on the BSC, well, guess where the users were? They were on the BSC network. But the intentions were always to be a cross-bridge platform. So we will use the bridge and be able to be on ETH network, BSC, and then also our own blockchain as well. So we will be across 3 ways. And I am looking into now, I'll be quite honest with you, I don't know a lot about the Crow platform besides I am an investor in Crow. But as far as developing, I don't think it's a lot different. But I want to make sure that I'm a complete expert on what I'm doing and talking about on the Crow network as far as deploying contracts and everything. I do know that they are using some other dApps and everything to be able to do that. It's not quite the same as Ethereum Remix for deploying contracts. So I want to look into that some more and everything before I give an honest opinion on 100% if we're going to be using and bridging to the Crow platform as well. But at this moment, that is for all intents and purposes my goal, but I want to make sure that I have everything correct and all my T's crossed and I's dotted before I would make that transition and bring that into our ecosystem. So I hope that answers your question on why we did that. It was mainly because of the gas fees and the user base, because you will be eventually having to pay transaction fees to be able to merge your stuff over to the Blockstar chain if you decide to do that. And then just for ease of use and for interacting, I do know that there are a lot of what you guys call Jeets and all that stuff and Degens out there that do the pumping ups and everything. But being a cross-bridge, I don't think that's going to be an issue for us. Again, we're trying to build a user base, not necessarily just trying to get a million investors, because technically our user base, every single one of those users, because of our point system, as they're earning points, they're able to exchange that for the BST token. And I've said this many times before, there's not a lot of projects out there that can boast that they have 1 million holders of their token, or even 5 million, 10 million. As the platform grows, also our holders grow organically, not with big pump and dumps. So it's never been a concern of mine about that, doing the pump and dump, because of the way that we've structured the entire platform. We may have some ups and downs at the very beginning as people are getting used to it and as our user base is growing on the BSC network, but it would be a very short-term thing. It would never be long-term. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, that's great, man. So you're kind of like a one-man band, but I really respect this. So you can see every aspect, you're at the every single process of the development, so you can learn from the bottom to the top. So that's good. I really respect that. About the blockchains, I was more thinking, because if you're basing on a volume, and you get people to pay for stuff and things, that you would more chase a blockchain with even lower transaction fees than BSC. For example, I'm not a specialist on those, but like Matic and AVAX, I think they have like really transactions fees in pennies.
Nope. You're absolutely right on that. The problem is we all know what happened with Polymatic and everything, and some of the exploits and everything as well. So until they kind of, and I hate to say this about another blockchain or anything, but until they kind of clean everything up and get everything tightened up on their end and everything, I'm not going to take a chance on my investors and users' money in those platforms until they get everything secured and cleaned up a little bit better. So that was
Okay.
my reason for that. So I had to pick the better of VSC's been around for quite a few years now, right? So trusted as far as the security aspect. The only exploits are usually from contracts, and being in the space so long and as a developer and everything, and having other people look at the code and contracts and everything, and with the audits and everything, that shouldn't be an issue for us because we are at least any exploits that as of today's date, right? There could be something that came up years from now, but we would try to stay out ahead of all that stuff. Nothing is 1,000%. But I can't put my name on the platform and on those contracts and say, I know these are correct. And I know they are well built and structured to be able to run this platform now and in the future and have the potential to be able to update as we need to going forward in the future. So not to say that Polymatic and Avalanche and all those guys are going to be up and coming. But again, as far as volume, the volume is by far a lot more on the BSC network than anywhere else. There could be an opportunity in the future for us to do a partnership, and I would be able to bring some of their assets directly onto Blockstar as a bridge as well. But again, until they clean up some of their security risk and everything, I'm not going to take that chance.
Nice one, man. Thanks for the answer.
You're very welcome.
Just on that point, David, do you ever think you'll become overwhelmed with all this utility, like managing a lot of it on your own? I know you've got like a lot of people kind of helping here and there, but in terms of full time people, is it just yourself working on it full time?
Yeah, so it would be me working full time, but those guys are always there, right? So, and I know that I cannot continue to run the project alone, right? And it was never my intention to be the one-man band that did everything, right? But I do think it was key at the very beginning and getting us through the launch that I had my hand in everything just to make sure it was done correctly. And that way I could say if anything did go wrong, whether it was somebody that was working for me or not, it would land back on me. I wouldn't be able to use the excuse that, well, I trusted somebody else to do it. No, you guys put your trust into me and to my vision and everything. So I'm doing my due diligence and my job and making sure that I'm doing things the correct way. And there's nobody else at the end of the day to blame except for me for anything that goes wrong within the platform because I had my hand in it. Now going forward, obviously I'm going to bring on a lot more staff and everything, but I don't think we're at that point yet, but we will be very, very, very quickly. And as far as the utility side, it's not going to get overwhelming for me because the whole point behind building it decentralized, we have tried to automate everything and take the human being and the person, a physical person out of the equation to be able to run the platform. And I think you guys might remember from our last AMA and everything, I went over if anything had ever happened to me, there would be a contingency plan, but it doesn't affect the way that the site performs. If something happened to me and everybody else on this side of the world where I'm at and those contingency plans went to nowhere, this platform and site would still operate the way it's supposed to.
Can you expand on the contingency plans?
Yeah, I would point you to the AMA I did in Legit Crypto Lounge last time. But the contingency plans are for if anything happens to me, I do have a board of advisors. I do have some trustees and everything. The contract cannot be changed. It would take 2 wallets to change that, and those are deployer wallets that are attached to it. I did do it where there was 2, so it's a consensus model. There's somebody, my wife is one of them. She would have to give the approval, and the other one is to a guy that I have been in business with for a very, very, very long time, and I trust him. And there are a board of advisors and everything for the company of Blockstar, not in this crypto space, for the company of Blockstar. And one of those guys is a lawyer. So, and that is all done through him, and it is already put into, if anything does happen to me, that is my contingency plan. So it would take 2 to be able to make any of those major changes. And then going forward, all that would be voted on by a consensus model throughout the platform. And you guys would have a direct input on what does happen within this space.
Cool. Right. Let's move on to the next update then. Let's see what you got. What else you got for us?
I got a bunch of them, but I'm excited about this one. Mark, you've never seen this, buddy. So I just want to jump on here. That's an inside joke between me and Mark. You'll know what I'm talking about when this pops up here. You've never seen this, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here. All right. So as you guys know that we are doing a complete NFT marketplace. This will be pulled into Blockstar. Right now I have it as an external site because we are doing all of our testing, but I'll be pulling this in within the next few days. Let me see what I'm on here. I think I'm on testnet. Oh, it's gonna run slow here. Let's see. Maybe it'll connect here. I got too many things going on in the background here.
Do you want a new laptop recommendation, buddy?
No. I'm good, buddy.
I have a few if you want. I done some research lately.
I was going to say you can have mine if you want.
As you guys
No.
As you guys can see, we do all of our testing on the testnet here, right? So that we make sure everything is perfect before we release it out to you guys. We're just going to switch over here. I have an account already set up. As you guys can see on the testnet, I have plenty of test BNB. So for all you guys that wanted to help me test and everything, I had BNB ready for you guys. So when you come on here, you are able to come on here. You are able to choose all the different categories. I haven't added a bunch of them, just your basic ones: cat, dog, mouse, rat, right? These will be updated. So there'll be tons of categories out there for you guys to come in and create all of your own NFTs. One thing that is unique about us is you're able to do it not only in just a photo, right? Which is what most platforms are: the art, the image, videos, GIFs, and audio. And then I'm also adding the other two where you'll be able to do it into PDF or documents as well. I think that's very important for like the real estate industry or anything that has association with it, for like DMVs and everything, for like car titles and stuff. All that stuff can be minted in the future directly on Blockstar, which will be attached to an NFT. So being able to do documents, PDFs, and the music files, I think is very, very unique to the space. There are a couple people that are trying to get into the audio side of things, where it's audio specific. So in this case, you would be able to upload an audio file. I'll just pop over here so you guys can see it. But you're also able to upload that audio cover. So like for those artists out there that are coming up with their own music and stuff, instead of having to go down and get a music producer to be able to do all these things, you're able to start out small, do it yourself, upload all of your music that you've written and come out with and spend a lot of time developing out. You can put your artwork cover on there, and you are able to sell those. You're also able to set your royalty. So if those are ever traded in the future, you're also able to get those royalties in the future, which is unique to the NFT space, as you guys know, not unique to us, but unique to the NFT space, where artists nowadays and everything, if somebody has a CD and it gets sold to somebody else or gets sold to a third party, they get no royalties on that. And this way, this is a great way for them not to have to depend on another company to be able to pay them huge percentages. They're able to market themselves and get the royalties on that as well. You can do multiple numbers at one time. We will introduce rarity, where it will go all the way from ancient all the way down to common. So you got uncommon, legend, artifact, all the way through. And that way you are able to mint those, and we will set those based on the number that is minted, what they would be considered, whether they be rare or uncommon or common. So we do that for the safety of the. Go ahead.
What's your time scale on this, David, to get this ready and deployed?
I'll be done testing tomorrow, buddy.
Tomorrow? Look at that.
I'll be done testing. Now,
I have a question.
I've been testing for over a week. Go ahead with your question.
It's I don't know. I think it's a general question about the NFTs things. It's about the reality. This reality will be only while trading these NFTs on Blockstar platform, or it will be like on any other platform. It doesn't matter.
Right. So one thing I'll show you guys, as you see on the test thing, I just popped it up here where you can see your BST balance, you can see your BNB balance. We'll also, because this is going to be cross-chain, we will start with BNB and ETH, but you will be able to import all of your, and see all of your NFTs from the ETH network, the BSC network, and then also the Blockstar network. And then if we do get into Crow, but they will be cross-bridge, so you'll be able to trade back and forth. Now, if you mint something, it will always be minted on that blockchain, right? So when you're creating these NFTs and everything, you will have to mint on whatever blockchain you want it to be on, but you will be able to see them all within your My Items. You won't have to go and try to change networks, and that's something that's pretty unique to the space. And I don't know if anybody else is doing it, where normally you have to go and switch between networks and all that. When you connect with a MetaMask wallet or a Trust wallet, it will show all of your NFTs that are associated with those chains. Now, for us to show the Blockstar chain in Trust wallet, I've already started talking with MetaMask, and I think we got that all worked out, how to bring that into their platform. But I'm still finalizing that with Trust wallet. But I don't see it to be an issue, because we're hoping to become the gold standard on being able to do that. So again, you won't have to come up here and switch that. With MetaMask, for sure, you'll be able to just come on here, do your wallet. It'll see every single chain that is listed on there, and it'll see everything you've ever created. It'll show everything that you've ever collected. It'll show everything you've ever favorited, and it will not be just unique to the Blockstar platform, right? Our blockchain. So it will be BSC, ETH, and Blockstar. So as you guys can see, we do have several different ways that you can sell these. So you're able to do not only as a buy it now, but you're also able to do auction style as well. So if you're trying to set a price of what your NFT should be and you're not really sure, well, put it up for auction. People will soon tell you what your price should be, because that's what they'll pay for it. NFT is only worth what somebody is willing to pay for it. So this is a great way to kind of get a starting price of where you should be at. As you can see, not only do we do it in BST, where you can purchase for that, but it also shows you the USD value of that as well. So also, if you're going to be exchanging between BST on the ETH network, because you have an Ethereum NFT that you want to sell, the fee and the sell, they still have to do it in BST, because we are going to be bridged to the Ethereum network. So you will be able to buy our token on both Ethereum and BSC. And it's one of the reasons why we're able to do this. So you will still be interacting with BST. It would just be the difference between which blockchain that you had minted your NFT on, but you will still be paying in the BST token. Any questions on that so far?
Yeah. Can I just ask a quick one? Going back to your the fact that you can create NFTs in different formats, like you said, PDFs and stuff.
Yes.
And you mentioned, was it real estate that it would be beneficial for?
I think it's going to be great for any type of real estate. Is just one of them, but anything that has paperwork and contracts associated with it. Many people now, whenever they go sign paperwork for buying a new house and all that stuff, use that stuff. You have to go back and do title searches and all that, and it gets very, very, very expensive to do those title searches, at least here in the U.S., and sometimes they're not foolproof either. This way, if a contractor goes and builds a new house and these are being sold for the first time, it can be put into an NFT, and it's very, very easy to track everything done within that house, right? Because it creates a smart contract for it, along with all the paperwork attached to it, and then also you'll be able to see anything that's ever happened to that from an insurance standpoint as well. So I think this will be big for the insurance space. So if there's a hurricane or tornado comes through and there was a roof damage or whatever, it would be able to be written to that contract as a right feature, so that could stay updated by every single owner of that NFT. So you'll be able to see and track everything that's ever happened with that house, from the time it was built, how much it was ever sold for, all the way through to the time that you decide to buy it or sell it as well. You'll be able to see everything associated with it. The same thing for the car industry as well. Instead of having paper titles, you may have a paper title, but you would also have an NFT for it. And that way, if there was ever a car wreck and everything, think about all the cars out there that have been involved in floods. Nobody happens to mention that when you go buy it, even brand new cars, right? So in this case, you would be able to see, because it would automatically be written to the smart contract that would be updated, and we're hoping that would be updated by a third-party company that would be able to control all of those, or by the individual person that owns the car, that they would take the time to write that to the contract.
Yeah, awesome.
And
Yeah,
we would
that
build
makes sense.
a user interface for that right on Blockstar to be able to edit those contracts as well, because most people, as you know, do not know how to go in and write to a contract. Some of you guys do, but for the majority of for mass adoption, people out there do not. And I think that's really important to open up part of our platform open source with an API to make it very, very easy to interact with those contracts if you are the owner of that NFT, or maybe you're the third party that holds those NFTs for those potential people.
Perfect.
Any other
Sounds
questions on
good.
that front?
Mohammed has asked, minting of NFTs, why have you gone for BSC instead of something like Polygon, which is cheaper?
Right, so it's free to mint. We don't charge anything to mint. 100% free to mint any NFT that you want to make. 100% free. Where we make our money as a company is we make our money when they are sold, auctioned, on the sell side of a sell or an auction, and on the buy side. We take 1% from the buyer, 1% from the seller, for a total of 2%.
So we're just paying gas fees.
So you're only paying gas fees to mint. That is correct. You're minting for free. You're paying the gas fee, which doesn't go to me or doesn't go to Blockstar. The gas fee is what it is for interacting with that chain. Same thing if you're going to mint on the ETH chain. You're not paying to be minting. All you're doing is paying the gas fee to mint that.
So
which on BSC, I think. Go ahead.
What kind of figures are you making, or is Blockstar making when an NFT gets sold or resold?
That's why I just said it's 1% on each side. It's 1%.
Sorry,
of the total
1%. Okay, cool.
On each side. So on the buyer side, so when the buyer buys, he pays 1%, and on the seller side, he would pay 1% for a total of 2% of the total sell price.
Yeah, understood. So is that going to be in BST and BNB?
You will be paying in BST. If you will be allowed to pay in a USDC, because that will be one of our pairings when the Blockstar blockchain goes live. But
free.
You'll be able to say it again.
Is that all free then? You'll be able to use.
Yeah. So you'll also be able to pay in BNB and ETH. So that would be foreign in any other network that we own or bring into the platform. So to be clear, even though you're paying in those, it is automatically doing a buy order directly on the contract of BST. So you're still interacting with BST, because basically what we're doing is taking that, selling it, bringing it back. Because through our platform, we can run it through there and not charge you the fee to be able to do that 2% that we do on the DEX outside of there, which would be PancakeSwap.
Cool. I was going to take a question from the community here, because you raised his hand during this bit, so I'm presuming it's going to be about the NFT marketplace.
Go for it.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can, buddy. Go ahead.
My question is, in Blockstar, user can print NFT, but the NFT printing carry on the market is very good, but some of the have completable users for multiple blockchain. Does the NFT Blockstar printing engine support multi-blockchain, or is the competitive only with specific ones?
I hate to have you do this and everything. I was having a tough time following you. Can you repeat it one more time for me, just so I'm clear on your question?
My question is, what kind of NFT can user minting that the Blockstar is equipped with the app the will allow NFT minting? How easy will it be for ordinary user to do this without having to worry about encryption techniques and the complexity of blockchain? I send my question.
Yeah, no problem, mate. You just send your question in text and we'll pick it up. I couldn't quite catch it either, I'm afraid.
Right. And I hate to do that to you because I want to answer it fully as much as possible and everything. I think what your question is the ease of use to be able to create an NFT and how that would portray outside of the blockchain and everything. So you are able to, and that was one of the other points that I wanted to get into about, most of you guys know that I was a big advisor on charged particles, and that is one thing that we're bringing into the platform. So for all the projects out there, because these won't just be, again, Blockstar NFTs, these are made to be able to be mass produced by other projects as well. It is just our branding on the entire platform, and we are not charging a minting fee, but we are taking a percentage of the buy and sell. And to be clear, almost every platform, the standard in our market, because I do my research on all my competitors, it's 2.5% on each side. So that's a total of 5%. They take 2.5% from the buyer, 2.5% from the seller. We are able to do this, and I'm comfortable with only doing 1% on both sides of that. But for the easy use, it's super easy to do. You won't have to keep up with anything. You just come right on the Blockstar onto the social media platform, because this will be part of that. In my crypto tab, you'll be able to click a button and it will populate right inside of Blockstar. So anytime you're out doing social stuff, and then it'll also be an option, if you see here where it says favorite here, these little hearts, when you favorite something here, it will also favorite it right to your timeline as well. So everything is interactive and works directly with the social platform as well.
Okay, so Logic's come back with the question in text.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, David. Thank you, Top.
Yeah, no problem.
Does that answer your question, Logic, or did you want me to further ask with the text version? Look, let's just go over it. What kind of NFT can users minting that the Blockstar app is equipped with in the app that will allow NFT minting? How easy will it be for ordinary users to do this without having to worry about encryption techniques and the complexity of blockchain?
Yep, so all the magic is done on the back end. We've already done all this stuff for you guys. So I'm just going to go in here and I am going to show you guys how simple and easy it is to do this. So I'm going to go on here, select an image, okay? I'm going to come in here, I'm going to upload my file here. I'll just pick a random one here.
Let's hope you haven't got your naughty folder open, David.
Oh no, I saved that for you later, buddy. I sent it to you in a zip file. It was so big. No pun intended. So we have the sell method and everything. So we're going to update this. We're on test BNB for the chain. You'll be able to select between this. So you'll be able to select chain. That's why this is here. You'll be able to select which chain you want to mint it on. We're just going to say test marketing NFT. And I can't spell when you guys are in front of me here.
Stage fright.
And then, I know, right, buddy? You'll see that in those pictures too. And then we'll set this at 5%. We'll select a category. This sounds like a rat play to me. And then we'll do 2 of them. Okay. So from the user standpoint, all you do is you click on submit. Pops right up here, and I'll even show you guys what the gas fee is for minting this right directly on testnet, and it's actually a little more expensive on testnet compared to what it is on the main network. So just so you guys can see, it looks like it's gonna be, oh, I'll have to check that and everything. I may have it set and everything because I did have it set originally where we were going to be charging the minting. So it's doing 0.1, but to mint these, it's 0.0, it's 30 cents is what it is for the gas fee. And I can show you guys that too. I just need to change that real quick. We were doing some testing for if somebody wanted to do a mystery box as a platform and everything. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with wonky donkeys and all those other ones that you guys love to get into. I wish Torger was here. But being able to offer a way for those guys to do a mystery box and everything. So I was doing some testing with that. But it's been right at 30 cents in gas fees to be able to mint. But as you guys can see, now it comes right on here. My items, create it, and it shows these as well. Okay. So as soon as this processes, because remember what I told you, it creates a buy order on the BST and not yet, but it will interact and everything. So it has to get all this set up to be able to notice where it says approve, cancel option, finalize bids, and all that stuff. So on the back end, it's interacting with a smart contract, which is probably more technical than you guys want. But for all intensive purposes, notice here now I can go through here and then I can approve this to be able to sell our auction. You'll need to approve it as the creator. Now, if you already own these NFTs, you won't be doing any of this. All you will do is pay the gas fee for the signatures to be able to bring those into Blockstar, and that is just a simple gas fee. Get permission to access your BST. See right here, 31 cents, guys, for the transaction fee.
Just while we're doing this, David, there's a question from Philly, which I think is quite good.
Good.
When you said we all merge websites, technically speaking, you could split the services into independent pieces. Blockstar is the ecosystem. It makes it easier to maintain the code on the long term and makes your web app much faster and safer. This is how the big names deal with billions of users.
Right. So the way that we actually deal with the bigger users and the more people that we bring on, because again, we're creating a user base within our ecosystem. So when I say we're pulling this in and everything, this is pulled into the servers and nodes and everything. And this is done through a skeleton, and we will be hosting individual parts on this on different servers and nodes and everything. It all pulls from separate ones. We never have to worry about it becoming too slow and everything. On the test site and everything now I'm using, this is just a test server that this is on. When it goes to the main site, it will be super fast because, again, it breaks everything off. So just because you need information, say I'm looking at the NFT platform here, it's pulling information from all of the nodes, all the servers, because it only takes one. So it takes bits and pieces from each one to speed up the entire network, and that's what offers the security as well. So as far as performance, if we get to where it starts to slow anything down, we just do a sell for nodes and encourage you guys to purchase those nodes, and then you would also earn a reward for having that node as well. Because as we grow, I don't want to continue to build out server rooms when I can just have them spread out throughout the world on nodes that you guys own, and I will help work with you guys on those nodes, and I will give you my recommended hosting companies throughout the world that you guys can have the nodes set up on their platforms, right? So as far as scalability and everything, all we do is need to add more nodes to the ecosystem to speed up the process, because it doesn't take information from one place. It takes it from all of them, and then it puts it in the consensus model. Following?
Yep. Right. So I'm kind of was that Philly? Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of a little bit conscious of time, but there's some really good questions coming through. And this one relates to the NFT marketplace.
Yeah.
The fact that some of them have compatibility issues for multiple blockchains. Does the NFT Blockstar printing engine support multiple blockchains, or is it only compatible with specific ones?
Yep, so I went over that earlier and everything. So we will have it to where it is crossed. So if you have something minted on the Ethereum blockchain, it will be specific when it comes in here, but it will show you all of them in one spot, and it will tell you which chain it's on. It will tell you it's either was minted on the Ethereum chain, the BSC chain. So a lot of places, they're not able to show those between cross-platforms and everything. We are pulling directly from and have built off of a protocol from Ethereum to be able to do that. For the call information, same thing on the BSC network. We are creating a call to be able to call that image and that information from that contract directly into here. So we are a true cross-platform, where most people talk about having it and being a cross-chain. We are literally a cross-chain, because you'll be able to see all of your NFTs, no matter if it is on, I'll go through them again, the ETH network, BSC network, the blockchain, Blockstar network, and then if we do decide to get into Crow or any other platform in the future, then those will be updated as well. But
Cool.
Currently it would be the BST network, BSC network, and it will be the Ethereum network to start out with. I think that's a good starting point.
Yep.
So there's a couple of people that have been waiting to ask questions as well.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm just trying to find the person. It's Rubel.
Rubel, yeah, you can unmute yourself, buddy.
Give me an opportunity. Can I ask him a question?
Yeah,
Yes,
go ahead,
mate.
Rubel.
Okay. My question is, as a crypto newcomer, why I should choose app only? You understand?
Can you speak a little louder for me?
As a crypto newcomer, why should I choose app only?
As a crypto newcomer, why should I choose app only?
Yes, yeah.
So I'm a little confused on the question and everything. App only. We are a complete ecosystem. If you're referring to the app on Blockstar, you are able to download those apps, but I'm not sure that's what you're referring to. What makes you choose Blockstar as your go-to platform for NFTs and your go-to platform for all your social networking needs? We've covered a lot of this in the last AMA. I've covered it some here, but I'll be happy to answer it. We are looking to reinvent not the wheel, but reinvent the way that you imagine social media. And we want to be the go-to place for everything. Right now, currently in the marketplace, you either have Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, TikTok. You have a million different places. Well, I can assure you that you're not being able to interact with crypto on any of those platforms currently. That's the way it sets. The only thing you're able to do is maybe get people shilling and posting stuff about a crypto project. We're giving you a user base, people that are on our platform that are already interested in those things. And we also have courses directly in our platform to be able to have you come in as a newcomer into the crypto space and be able to use our platform and learn everything there is to know about crypto. And we will continue to update that. So we're looking to be the go-to place that offers the best up-to-date information within the crypto community and be the go-to place that projects that are legit want to come to. So if it's not a legit project, they will be personally vetted before they go onto our Incupad, the DexPad. We can't control everything that goes on there, but our Incupad, I can assure you, will be 100% vetted by me, and I will put my name on those projects, and they will also be part of our exchange as well. Sorry about that, guys. And they will be listed directly on our exchange as well. So as a newcomer, this will be a safe place for you to come, learn about crypto, and to be able to invest as well.
Perfect. David, right, I'm going to take one more question before we move on, and you can carry on. But can you mint series? So let's say, I want to create a series of NFTs, like 100 different monsters. Can I create them and collate them in a series so that they're like one of 100? We're not doing. What I mean is not printing like 100 of the same NFT, because I can see that you can do that, but like 100 different ones that are all part of the same series.
Yep, so that's something that we really want to focus on and remember what I said about that mystery box like the Wonky Donkeys. You won't be able to do that decentralized yet. I am willing to work with projects that do have those. They can bring those to me in bulk and everything, and I will help them to get those. There will be a fillable form they will submit along with all of those NFTs, and then we will upload them into the platform for the NFTs so they can do those.
Cool.
And then also even not just like the ones where you don't get to see it till it's done, right? Because we don't charge for the minting, so we would have to set another function for that. But if you want to be able to upload a complete collection, you are able to do that as well in bulk, and we will help you to do that. But just for your average everyday person, if you want to create an NFT, you can set it from 1 to 1 million. And we don't charge, again, to mint those, but we do charge you to buy, sell, and transfer those out of the platform.
Awesome. Yeah. Have you got anything else to say on the NFT marketplace or minting?
No, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I kind of want to leave some of it for surprise so you guys can just go and jump on there and be like, oh my God, I didn't know it did all this stuff and everything. I've covered the basics and everything. You guys are pretty familiar if you've been in the crypto space for any length of time or read anything about an NFT. You've probably been on OpenSea or Rarible or anything. So I encourage you to check those platforms out as well, and then jump on the Blockstar so you can really see what the difference is between them and why we stand out above our competitors in that sense and what we are able to accomplish. So I got about another day and a half of testing left. And then as soon as the BST token goes live at launch, then this platform also goes live at well. We obviously cannot make it live until we have the BST token live because this interacts directly with that contract.
Okay, and in his absence, mate, there's going to be one question that I'm going to ask on behalf of him. Can you sell his donkey here?
Oh, that's a tough one for me. Yes, absolutely, because that was minted on the ETH network. He is able to mint it, but I'm not haven't been following that project, so I don't know if they've already showed you which ones you got or not. So if I don't know which one you got or not, that would be something that you would want to mint, because I'm assuming they would have to turn those on in a contract somewhere. So once you have went through the process and they've been revealed, you will be able to see them in Blockstar. And if he wanted to sell them, he would be more than happy to sell them. I will tell you that I will not buy one from him.
Yeah, awesome, man. Let's move on. There is another question on the NFTs, but we'll move on for now, and I'll pin that question, David, so you can answer that later if that's okay.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Just to show you guys real quick, and I'll jump out of the NFT part here. For the profiles and everything too, so you're able to verify these, and that little blue check mark you guys see on the platform over in Blockstar, you will be able to have that same function here, because those accounts, will be in Blockstar. You'll be able to have that little blue check to show that it is coming from a verified source, if those people intend to be KYC and doxed through Blockstar as a verified user. That is not required to use the platform, but I think going forward and everything, that may be an essential for a project creator, owner, administrator, or a project that does NFTs to show it's coming from a legit source. So you're able to upload your own cover photos. So if you have the wonky donkeys and you were the project creator of that, you would put the wonky donkeys cover photo on here and be able to put all of your socials in here, your bio as well as the creator of those NFTs directly on Blockstar. So I just wanted to cover that. Let's see, guys. So I'm going to close out of this, jump back over to here. There's been several updates, and I know we're conscious of time, and I swore I was going to keep this to an hour. The short videos you guys are familiar with. I think one of the major things that we added last time is this that you guys have not seen. Some of you guys that stay on the platform pretty regular. We do have where you can swipe and meet users Tinder style. So you can come on here and meet your next honey right on here. And you can filter this men and women. And as you guys can see, you can just and click through all the ladies directly on the site. And then you can come in here and you can filter this by age groups, men, women, and distance from you as well. Now, the key thing to this is, because not everybody wants to be overwhelmed with that, you have to have the person looking that hit for the match, that hit the green heart for the match, but the other person also has to be a match, or I will not notify either one of you. Following? So I think that's a good safety feature. So if somebody's just going through there and just clicking hearts and everything, the other person will not get notified unless they do use the module and everything, and they click on the same person. Oh my goodness, I got a ton of notifications. So I think that's probably a good stopping point. I got so many things I could just continue to go over. I encourage you guys to really take the time, just join Blockstar, see what all the fuss is about, check out all the different modules and apps and everything. Go through the platform. If you have any questions, I'm constantly on there. I try to welcome every new user with a personalized greeting from me directly, and I will continue to be available for you guys to reach out to for as long as humanly possible. I will continue to respond to everybody within at least 24 hours.
Awesome, David. Is it worth mentioning that you've been KYC'd and verified on another platform as well?
Yeah, I'm KYC docs on not only Blockstar, but also on JoinCoin now. I did go through their process of getting all that stuff, and I am KYC'd there. I'm KYC'd on Solid Proof, on True Audit. So everything's audited, everything's KYC'd, everything's docs. You can go right onto my profile. There is a little map on there, and it tells you exactly where I live at. Maybe not down to the exact address, but at least in the city with a little marker where I am. So I have all of my pictures and everything in my albums and everything. I will venture to say I'm probably one of the most open docs people out there, because I'm not hiding anything. I want you guys to be able to interact with me, and I want you guys to see me for the long term and be able to see content that I put out as well on Blockstar.
Awesome. And we've already asked you this question once in
1
Legit
million
Crypto Lounge.
users by the end of the year, and that will be my success story, right? My milestone for the end of the year will be. Go ahead and ask your question, buddy.
Come on then. So, at which point, David, does Blockstar become a success to you?
Sure. The true milestone for me for the short term goal is the 1 million plus users within the first year. So that would be coming up at the end of December. I want to have 1 million users onboarded. If we keep going the rate that we are going today, it looks like we're going to surpass that by a large number. But that would be the first milestone. The next milestone is delivering on all the stuff you guys have already seen in the background, everything, and just making it better, right? So I'm in the space to continue to bring new and legit projects to the space that really bring a unique utility to this space that change it for the better, right? And to be an advocate and an ambassador for the crypto space to get mainstream adoption. So the ultimate goal is to get more mainstream adoption and give you guys a go-to place to interact socially in a safe spot that you can also enjoy the crypto side of things as well. That is my ultimate goal at the end of the day.
That's awesome, David. All right, listen, thanks for coming into the Legit Crypto Lounge again and doing an AMA with us. We know you're here most days, but it's nice to do something good for everyone and people can see your product.
I appreciate that. And I really appreciate Mark and Toby. So any of you guys that are in here are new to the channel and everything, I highly recommend you join and subscribe and stay in the channel and everything. They have some of the best AMAs and great group of people. I got nothing but good things to say about this lounge. So if you're looking for legit projects and everything, this is the place to get them. It's not full of bots. It's full of nothing but legit people. And I've had some of my best times in recent years in this space, in this lounge.
Man, I appreciate that, man. That's really kind words, mate.
That's all I got, buddy. I'm ready for the banter session. We still got like